let's get started. So what you see on your screen right now is the first screen that opens once you log into the Aesthetic Record app. It's going to list all the different patients you have in your account. And we'll go through charting today. And to start, what you'll do, and I always recommend this, is click on the three lines here in the upper left corner so you can start from your calendar. Now this is going to show you all of your appointments for the day or the week, however you list. So right now I have the week highlighted, and if I wanted to look at appointments just for today, I'm clicking day over here to the right. So you can see there's nothing on the calendar for today. So I'll go back to that weekly view for you ladies. And again, this is showing all upcoming appointments. So for the next appointment that I have, we're going to use this patient, Jenna Jones here. And to start her procedure, what you'll do from your calendar is click on this appointment time, and it will give you more details for this appointment. So if you wrote any notes when you created that appointment, you can review your notes here. You can also get other details related to this patient. And then from here, we're clicking on view profile, and that will jump to this patient's profile. That way you don't have to be searching for the patient from the front screen. You can go directly from your calendar. So now on the screen, what you see is this patient's account. And so you can see at the very top here, we have a few recent treatments, one for Botox, another one for Botox, but this will give you a nice summary of what was completed during that session. It will be dated and time-stamped. You'll be able to rename this procedure so you know exactly what it was for. You can also see a summary of any products used, and then whether or not consents were signed and questionnaires were filled. To start a new procedure, what you'll do each time is click this plus symbol here to the upper right, and that will give you a list of different body parts for your templates. So for this service, if it is a Botox service, I'm going to select the face. And then a new screen opens where you can enter information related to this procedure. And so it will automatically tie in your name as the provider and your office that you're working out of under the clinic name. And then next, what you'll do is select the appointment time from this drop-down menu. And then you'll also tie in the service that is related to that appointment time. The next, we can update this name for the procedure. Again, so I know exactly what it was for. If we're doing a Botox, let's say it's a Botox and filler procedure today. I'll have that saved in. Also, an important reason why we're tying in the appointment time is that it will pull through any forms completed through the patient portal. So you'll notice here under questionnaire, it tells me that they have not been filled out. So that lets me know that this patient should fill out their questionnaires in office. Now, it's not required to use an appointment time, so don't worry about that. Don't think you have to schedule an appointment through Aesthetic Record to continue. If you have walk-in patients, you can still complete a procedure without an appointment time. But next, I do want to show you what the questionnaires look like from the app. So here I'm going to click Add Medical Questionnaire, and this will reflect all the questionnaires you've built in your control center. And I'll use this first visit questionnaire as our example. What you see now on the screen are some yes or no questions. And at this step, you have two options. You can lock your screen and hand your iPad over to the patient so they can complete the questionnaire, or you can fill the questionnaire out in a consultation format where you're reading off the questions and then responding for the patient. And again, these are yes or no questions. And the way they work is if we respond yes to the question, then we can enter a response into the text box. So, are you currently under the care of a physician? If I go ahead and check yes, I can then go ahead and type in my doctor's name. Next, have you had any current or previous medical problems? If my answer is no, I'll check X, and then the text box goes away. So that kind of shows you the difference between the yes or no questions. I'm going to go to the next set of questions that I have here, which are multiple choice questions. So this question reads, select all of your previous medical conditions. And if I have more than one, I can check all that apply. Or if none, I'll just check none applicable. And so that kind of explains the different questions that you can set up for your questionnaires. You would go through and complete that questionnaire, and then at the very end, it'll say save down here in the bottom right. I'm just going to respond to these pretty quickly so we can get to that step. click Save, and now we can see that questionnaire has been passed. Then we can go back to our procedure information screen to add our consent form. So next here, it says patient consent. I'll go ahead and click Add Patient Consent. And again, this reflects the control center and shows every consent I have in my account. So first, I'll have the patient sign their Botox consent. And again, you do have the option to lock your screen to hand the iPad over to the patient in confidence. They can read through their consent form. Then they're going to click Sign and Accept here to the upper right. And then a signature box will open and they can sign using their finger. And now for this consent, we also have a witness signature attached, just in case you need more than one signature. And then finally, we'll click the floppy disk here to the upper right to save those signatures. And that completes the consent. It'll take us back to our consent list so we can attach another consent. So if we're doing filler today as well, for example, I'm going to sign this consent too. And this consent just has one signature box attached. So again, I'm just filling this out with my finger. And then we can go back to our procedure information screen, and now we're ready to start the procedure. So I'm going to go ahead and click our Start button. And the next step here, we're taking the before images of this patient. So if you're taking photos in office, what you'll do is click Take a Photo. That's going to open your iPad's camera. And if you follow my arrow here to the right, I'm just going to highlight our 3x3 grid. I recommend using this for your photos. It's just much easier and you have more flexibility for capturing your images. And so you would go ahead and snap your pictures in Office. And now I'm just going to go back and explain the other two options here. If you're doing a service that doesn't necessarily require photos, you can use the blank template. So you would just click Use Template 3 times. And then if you have photos already saved to your iPad of this patient, you can use the gallery. And I have some photos saved, so that's what I'm going to do. And we always start with 3 photos. So we have a front-facing angle, and then 2 45-degree angle photos, one from the left and one from the right. So I'm just uploading these images, and what's going to happen is that's going to create your chart for documenting. And that brings us to our next step where we document what we treated the patient with today. So I'm just taking my index finger and my thumb and I'm pinching into the face to zoom in and get a closer look. And then what I'm going to do next is click Add Product Injection here to the left, and that's going to open my inventory. So from this list, I can just choose the product used. I'll start with Botox first. And next, to add my injection points, I'm just double tapping with my finger on the areas where this patient was treated. And you do have the option to update your unit amounts. So we start at 1 unit, but then I just click on a unit to highlight, and then I can add additional units to that individual point. And so that would complete our first product. Now you can later layer products. So if I want to add my lip filler next, I'm just clicking this plus symbol again to open my inventory list. And then I'm going to search for my product. Let's say it's Restylane. I'm going to go ahead and search. And next, what I'll do is just double tap on the areas where we place this product. So let's say we add a syringe in the bottom lip. So I'm just adding that to the bottom lip here. Now, you'll notice here at the very bottom, there's injection navigation. So if I click this back arrow, it will go ahead and remove that most recent injection point in case if you make a mistake. So let's say we accidentally tap out here to the corner, I can just hit that arrow and it'll disappear. You do have another option here from the injection navigation. If you highlight this point, you can click the trash can to go ahead and delete as well. And then if you ever want to reorient any of your injection points, you can do so. So for this Restylane product, for example, I'm going to highlight and then I'm going to click this circle arrow here in the bottom right corner to rearrange my orientation. That way that injection point isn't covering the face. And then once you're happy charting with all of your treatment markings, just make sure you save by clicking the floppy disk in the upper right corner. So our next step is to add our traceability for our products, and that's done through this purple treatment summary tab. So as long as you've added a lot number and expiration date to your products, you can have the units automatically deducted from your account. So I'm just going to click traceability here to the right for Botox. And this will open my lot number. So I'll just select the lot number from the batch ID and then the amount of units that were used out of that lot number. Let's say we used all 16 from this lot. You go ahead and add, and then those 16 units will automatically be deducted out of my account. Now, I'm not 100% sure I have traceability here for Restylane, so let's take a look. No, I didn't think so. So that will let me know either A, I haven't added lot number and expiration date for this product, or B, it's already expired and that's why it's not available anymore.
My vanity plates came.
So now from this screen, I'm going to click back here to the upper left to go back to the front of this patient's account to add notes. So under her front image, you will see it says add notes. And this is where we can type out procedure notes. And this is where a really cool feature dot phrases comes into play. So on the keyboard, if I were to click my period, I can see any pre-configured note I have saved in my account. And I actually have one for Botox. So from this list, I'm just selecting that note. And then all I have to do next is tie in the amount of units used. And then we save. And so that'll save you a bunch of time from having to type out all of your notes all day long. If we go back one more time, again, we can see that procedure is now complete. And then if you would like to, you can go ahead and show the patient their progress over time using our comparison tool. So if you see the double squares here next to the plus sign in the upper right corner, that will be your comparison tool. And I just want to compare her face to see her different treatments. So here we can see a previous procedure that was completed versus the procedure we just completed together. And what I'm going to do is just flip my iPad horizontally, and I'm going to get a direct side-by-side comparison. And again, just using my thumb and index finger, I can zoom into this patient's face to show her the changes that she has made over time. Up here in the middle, if you see where it says front, this is where you can swap through your different angles. So if I want to look at my left 45-degree photos versus my right 45-degree photos, it's just as easy as flipping through here. You can also turn on your injection points, so you can see the difference of the areas that were treated. And if you take after photos, you can also check this box to show the before versus the after. Again, here I'm just clicking the arrows, the blue arrows here to swap through my different treatments. So that will be your comparison tool. And that will take us through charting.